everybody, and welcome to our show. The name is Conservative Update, and my name is Eric Wayne, and I'm the host of the show. And today we are so glad to have this Mr. Zubair Chowdhury, and he is our party organizer of the Conservative Party of Canada. And Zubair.
Thank you, Eric.
And can you tell us about tell our viewers about what happened at the Conservative Party convention in Montreal?
Well, Eric, last month in March, the Conservative Party of Canada had its first convention in Montreal. There were a lot of people from across Canada, the delegates over 3,100, and which is a very good number of delegates from the party who attended this convention. And it was upbeat, energized, and finally the Conservative Party of Canada now have its policies which are approved and backed by the member of the party.
Yeah. And how many policy resolution passed at that convention?
Well, at this convention we passed about 112 different resolutions, declarations, and addendums for our policies, and which went very well. And the party policies are now based on the conservative values, which address that party believe on lower taxes for the Canadians, hardworking Canadians. Party also believe on safer communities, and we want to have more safer communities for our people to live, and people can live safely. We also believe on that there should be an open immigration process, fair for everybody. And also the Conservative Party this time has also accepted that the multiculturalism and the diversity of the Canadian, which is fully recognized in the policies of the Conservative Party of Canada.
Yeah. And since you mentioned about this immigration, and can you tell me how many of those resolutions really brought in by these ethnic groups?
Well, there were quite a few number of different diverse Canadian population who attended this convention. And I was very pleased to see a lot of Chinese, a lot of South Asian, even black communities, the Spanish, a lot of communities were represented there, and they were very actively involved in the policy making process, moving the motions and giving their opinion. And the most of the resolutions which were brought by the ethnic communities and the multicultural communities at the convention, they were overwhelmingly passed by the party membership. And that is something very good to say, that the party is welcoming the new Canadians and the multicultural community to be part of the party process and policy making process. And it's a grassroots party.
Can you tell our viewers about the immigration policy?
Well, as you know, that the Conservative Party has always been labeled that this party is anti-immigrants, which is a very false accusation by the Liberal Party to take away the ethnic and multicultural votes from the Conservative Party. But the Conservative Party has always been supporting immigration in this country, and since this country is built on immigration, and they have worked hard to make Canada what it is today. And the Conservative Party in this convention, in this policy convention, has approved the policies that we would like to see in Canada, the very fair and open process of immigration, the fairness of family reunification, and also the openness of the professional people coming to Canada so they can make this country their new home.
I noticed you did bring the book there. Is that our policy which passed?
Yes, in this is our policy book. These were 112 resolutions which were passed at our policy convention. And I would like to mention some of them here on particularly which will be more appropriate for our Chinese viewer, our policies on immigration. And I tell you that our immigration policy, which is the resolution number 100, the Conservative Party support a welcoming and well-managed immigration system for Canada based on a fair and transparent process that earns the respect of confidence of the Canadians internationally. A compassionate measure to assist in family reunification, ensuring that Canada is successful in encouraging skilled immigrants to make Canada their destination of choice. A clear and workable process for immigrants to obtain equivalency for their international skill, training and experience, and so on and so forth. It also talk about the settlement and integration of the new Canadian. It also talk about a very compassionate and streamlining system for our refugee determination. It also talk about the application process, about the conservative party's policies, that this application process should be very open, easy, and when the people apply for immigration to Canada under the Liberal government, and they just send their application and they can sleep on it and they can sit back and wait. You call them, you write them a letter, and there's no response. So the Conservative Party will change the philosophy and the way the Immigration Ministry and Immigration Department is working in Canada, so the people will be able to access their information, they'll be able to get the answers of their application, and they will also be able to know where their application stands right now, what is the status on the application, and it should be very easy for them to know about the status of the application. These kind of things which our Conservative Convention has passed in their policies.
Then how about the foreigner education credentials? Because I know they have there's a lot of these professional people here, and
you're absolutely right. You know, tell you one thing, Eric, that from last 12 years, the Liberal had a majority government, and they have been taken these minority and the immigrant communities for granted. They just gave the lip service. They did nothing for us. They did not resolve the issues and the problem. And imagine that today, because of the wrong policies of the government, and our professionals, highly qualified professionals, who come after a number of years of the university education and the PhDs and medical doctors, engineers and lawyers, and when they come here, and what they do, unfortunately, they end up delivering pizza, working as a security guard, or driving a taxi cab. And I tell you today, what is going on with our health system today because of the cut of the transfer funding from the federal government to the provinces. Today, you can easily order a pizza, and most likely you will get a doctor delivering you the pizza, and you can ask him to give you some service on your medical advice. So this is something which our party has acknowledged, recognized, and at this convention, overwhelmingly, this policy was adopted, that once the Conservative Party formed the government and Stephen Harper is the Prime Minister of this country, he is going to bring a legislation to recognize the international qualification of the new immigrants in Canada. Under this system, there will be a fair and open evaluation of the foreign credential, and that foreign credential evaluation will not only be available within Canada, which will also be available in our Canadian visa offices, immigration offices overseas. So when some new immigrant applying for immigration to Canada, they will know right there and then that what is the status of their education. So how many more credit a doctor has to go through, and how many more classes a lawyer and engineer has to take. So this is something also which has been brought to the convention and the policy, and this government, Conservative government, is going to make this a priority, to make this evaluation process faster, fairer and transparent.
Now how about the policy for the post-second education in Canada?
That's another area. You know that today, as you know, that our immigrant population is growing. Our children are now growing up, and they are going to the universities from after their post-secondary education. And it is very expensive for us. The tuition fee is so high. The classes are not available, and the schools or university has now not enough many seats over there. And it's very difficult for an average family to send their children to the university education. And our Conservative government will make sure that they have passed the policy resolution. They will make sure that the more easy and accessible the post-secondary education will be for our young Canadian, so they can benefit and then contribute to the Canadian society after getting their higher education. And a similar thing apply to their scholarship and bursaries. Can you imagine today a student who's on scholarship or receiving a small amount of bursaries and they are paying tax on it? It is so ridiculous. And our Conservative Party said that we will make this scholarship and bursary tax free. And on top of that, the loans and the transfer money for the education, higher education, will be based on number of students, not on base of some kind of provincial other index. It will be based on the number of students. So our student will be able to get higher education.
We talk about this. I mean, a lot of these policies. How about we change the topic about the scandal nowadays? They did mention about this Gomery inquiry. What's our party stands for?
Well, Eric,
At this moment.
it is very interesting. Let me tell you that from last 12 years, with the majority Liberal government, we knew as a Conservative the Liberals are mismanaging our country. They are misusing our taxpayer money, and they are not doing the job they were doing. I mean, people still remember that HRDC bulldozer of billions of dollars. They still remember over $2 billion of gun registry waste of money. They still remember a lot of other waste of the government spending, and where we do not have doctors available in our hospitals, we do not have nurses available in hospitals, we do not have the money for our higher education for our students, we do not have money for the immigrant settlement, and here the government is wasting billions of dollars. And well, it is the right time today that Gomery inquiry has brought, and it is proving that the Liberals are corrupt. Our government, Liberal government, was corrupt, and then Canadian need to have the better government. Canadian deserve better, and the Conservative Party and the Stephen Harper is going to offer a accountable government, a transparent government, and the government based on principles, who are going to listen to the Canadians, who are not going to listen to those people who are giving them the political donations, or the people who are running their election campaign, or people who are running their media. The Conservative government is going to listen to the Canadians, and they are going to work for the Canadians.
So, are you trying to tell me that the party is thinking about the elections now?
Well,
what's the party stance?
Well, as a matter of fact, the Conservative Party is ready for election any time.
Yep.
But obviously, we would not like to force the election against the will of the Canadians. We would like Canadians to get the true picture of Liberal government. They would like to know more the report of the Gomery inquiry. So once they get the report, once they know that the Liberals are corrupt and they want vote the Liberal government out, and they would like to bring a accountable government, Conservative government under the leadership of Harper. Yeah. And then when we'll see that when the Canadians are ready and then Canadians deserve better, then Conservative Party is going to call vote of no confidence and going to set the date for the next election.
Since we still have time, have we talked about more about other policies at these conventions?
Well, a lot of policies were discussed at this convention, and now the Conservative Party has a clear mandate from its membership. They know where they stand, they know what they're going to do once they become the government, and our policies, you take it from lower taxes, safer community, open access, equal opportunity, recognition of the multiculturalism. That was another resolution which was passed at the convention, that a Conservative government recognized the contribution of the multicultural community and the immigrant community to the progress and the development of this country. Canada is built on immigration. Canada is built by immigration. Immigrant communities and the multicultural community is the part and parcel of the Canadian mosaic, and that Conservative Party recognize. Canadian Party also recognized in the resolution at the convention about the diversity of the Canadian demographic and the population. These are the things which were discussed in detail, and then also policies on environment, policies on scrapping the gun registry, policies on safer community. I tell you, the other important thing is about the democratic process, that the Conservative Party and the Conservative government believe that there should be a democratic process. All the appointments should come through a process, and the senators should also be elected. Why they should be appointed? That the Liberals have been appointing the senators who are their party worker and party supporter, and not letting the Canadians choose their senator. And the Conservative Party will do that as well. And at the same time, the appointment of the judges, which will also go through a very screening process of the legislative committees and the communities and the Canadians, so then they know that the judges are not biased. We want to know the opinion of the judges before they become judge, so their decision will not be biased. So these kind of things were discussed and at the convention.
And since this party is just merged December 2003, and this convention is the first convention, right? Then how these two parties reaction during this convention?
Well, tell you the truth, I have been to numerous party conventions, provincial PC conventions and federal PC convention and alliance conventions, and I tell you, the party has been so much united. And then the speech given by the Stephen Harper, leader of the party, who by the way got over 85% of the support of the membership of the party, which is another vote of confidence on the leader, that our leader is capable and able, and he has the vision of this country for the next millennium, that how the country should be run. And I saw that party is united. Party workers are energized at the convention. There were a lot of fun as well at the convention, a lot of good time. We made a lot of good friends from across Canada. We met our party members from east end to the west end of the country. So we made a lot of friends. It was very good atmosphere. And 3,100 delegates, when they left that convention from Montreal, they knew that they are going to be the member of the next government of this country.
So are you trying to tell me that, or tell the viewers that the first day of the convention, the media, the newspaper mentioned that looked like going to have what they call a friction divided?
Well, it's media's job, to give a negative report all the time. Yeah. But one thing good also, the Canadian viewers should know, that this convention was a democratic process. This is a time when every member of the party should have the right to stand up and say whatever that he or she like to say. And it was open to everybody. You just line up at the podium and then you say, I want to speak. Every member get 1 minute to speak. No matter it's an ordinary member or is a member of parliament or is a leader of the party or whoever. 1 minute to speak and express their opinion. And so as everybody has a right to express their opinion, and that not necessarily that everybody would agree on everybody with everybody. So obviously there had to be the difference of opinion. But at the end of the day, once the resolutions are passed, then every member of the party is behind the policies. They are behind the party constitution, which we also formed the constitution of the party because the new party. So we have the constitution now, we have the policies, and we are ready to govern.
And we have only 4 minutes left. I have only 2 questions to ask you. How the party is going to do to encourage their ethnic to participate into the party politics?
Well, Eric, Conservative Party is an open door party, and party doors are open. It's a grassroots party, and every Canadian is welcome to join the party. And today we have the most diverse caucus in Canadian Parliament from the Conservative Party. We have members from the Oriental background, the South Asian background, some other community background, and we also have the party members who are coming from different background. And that was my job during last election and before election during the campaign, to reach out to the multicultural communities and bring them to the party. And every member has one vote in the party, and nobody is going to appoint any candidate for this party. That leader doesn't have that authority, which Liberal Party has that authority to appoint member. So it is opportunity for Chinese, for other multicultural communities to get involved. And as a matter of fact, this is a wish of our leader Stephen Harper, to see at least 4 or 5 candidates from the Chinese background from the GTA. If you look at Markham area and the surrounding riding of the Markham, the heavily Chinese population. And very unfortunate, the Liberal Party never had a Chinese MP from this area. Why couldn't they? So Conservative Party believe and support and encourage Chinese political activists to get involved and run for the election, become a member of parliament and represent your Chinese community's point of view in the parliament. And that's also my wish, to see in the GTA the representation from the Chinese community. So please get involved. I would encourage you to be part of this Conservative Party election campaign, and you are most welcome.
And what is the message from the party leader Stephen Harper you'd like to deliver to our Chinese viewers?
Well, the leader Stephen Harper is going to be our future Prime Minister of this country, and I believe on that one. And his message is very clear. This party and this country is built on immigration. This country is built on immigration, and every Canadian is equal. So get involved, make this party a strongest party of this country, and have your say. Participate. It will be more democratic party. You will have your say in it, and you will have your participation in it. And get involved, and then let's deliver a good government to the Canadians they deserve. This is the message from the leader.
Good. Okay, I think that about time we finish here, and thanks, Zubair.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure to be here on this show.
So see you next time.